Welcome. It's Straight Talk with the Superintendent of Schools, Jamie Canarney. I'm Mary Shell, the Community School Coordinator for WRVSU, and we're glad that you're tuning in to learn more about what's happening with our budgets in WRVSU. Today is Friday, February 20th, and we're glad you can join us.
And Mary started off her morning in Tunbridge with the Channel 5 news team, weather team, that was at First Branch Elementary all morning, reporting live from Tunbridge on the weather all morning, and was joined by a bunch of our students as early as 4:30 this morning.
It was great.
So we're going to spend our time today talking again about a tax sheet specific to the Sharon School District. And so, Mary, the expenditure budget in Sharon for FY27 is $7,250,420. We then have to subtract out, and if you were looking in your books, you'll see this tax sheet, your local revenues. And the local revenues are made up of things like federal title funds to support intervention services, sometimes the interest we're able to collect in regards to the tax anticipation note that the voters approved the board to take out every summer. And so if we don't have to draw down on that tax anticipation note, we're able to generate interest. And also the board is utilizing this year some surplus funds that we had from FY25 to help decrease the tax rate for Sharon citizens for this upcoming FY27 budget season. And you can find that on your revenue page within the annual mailer. So we subtract out your local revenues and we get to $6,641,791. That is your Act 68 spending. And what that means is how much money the Sharon School District is going to require from the education fund. And when you look at that Act 68 spending, it's actually less than a percentage increase over the current year. So it's 0.77%. We then take that number and we divide it by our long-term weighted pupils. And this year that number is down. And so we take that $6,641,791 divided by 482.71. And that number is down this year mostly in regards to we've seen a decrease across the SU in families served via Medicaid funding at the federal level. And so when we lose those Medicaid designations in regards to families being supported, we then lose some of the weights that we have in regards to the free and reduced lunch status of our students. We'll talk about more of that at the annual meetings, but just know that doesn't mean we've lost necessarily students that we're educating. It's just how the agency counts students is not one for one. High school students get a larger weight than elementary students. Pre-K students get a lower weight than elementary students. And then students who may need additional services and or their family would qualify for free and reduced lunch, their count goes up as well. So just know that's how we get to that number. That results in per pupil spending of $13,759.38. That is the figure you're going to see on the warning, and that is a 6.81% increase. So even though we're asking from the state less than a percentage increase, what you're going to see is that 6.81 because that is taking into account the drop in the weighted pupils. We take that $13,759.38. We divide it by the yield, which is 8,849. And the yield number, again, just to remind folks, that is a number set by the legislature, typically in May or June. And that is how the state is able to control how much tax revenue they need to bring into the ed fund. So if they need to generate more tax revenue, then what they'll do is drop the yield number. If they don't need as much revenue as they projected in December 1, that number will increase. When they projected expenditure budgets across the state in December, they believed they were going to be over like upper 5%. Now they're coming in projected to be under 5% increase statewide. So I do expect that yield number very well may go up, which will result in a little bit of a decrease in taxes as compared to what we're projecting right now. So once we divide through your yield, you get a tax rate of 1.5378, but we're not done there. That's the equalized tax rate. So from the equalized tax rate, we got to take into account the common level of appraisal for each one of the towns. And so in Sharon, we take that 1.5378, we divide it by your common level of appraisal, and it results in a tax rate of 1.7436, which equals an increase of 0.1341, which, if you're wondering what does that mean, that means $134.09 per $100,000 of assessed value. And I just want to bring folks back. There's lots of different figures that are contributing to that. In general, it's that we've lost some weights to students, and the CLA in Sharon dropped again this year because houses are selling at a higher value than what they're appraised at. And so when that happens, your CLA drops, and when the CLA drops, your tax rate will go up on your residential tax rate. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully that made it a little clearer. If not, a reminder that you do in Sharon vote from the floor, so you'll get your opportunities to go through all of this with the board again, get answers to questions you may have, and hopefully we'll see you out there on Monday, March 2nd at 6 p.m. And just a reminder, at all of our in-person district budget votes that night, we are offering dinner prior to the meeting and childcare. So hopefully we'll see you there. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.